So, when I first made a video about Jonah Williams being traded or requests being traded, I talked about how the Cincinnati Bengals at best would get a 5th round draft pick. Since then, I've gone up a little bit after hearing your guys' responses. But it looks like my initial opinion might have been correct. Well, kinda. So, here's the problem. Jonah Williams, there's an update on his trade scenarios. Because there's a lot of teams that are interested in Jonah Williams. Don't get that wrong. There are a lot of teams that are there like, listen, we want Jonah Williams. We'll take the $12.6 million cap hit. We'll pick him up. We'll take him off your hands. We'll want him. The problem is the asking price. So here's what Outkick's Armando reports that no team is interested in trading a high draft pick for Jonah Williams. And that's the problem. I said this before and I'll say it again. If there wasn't a $12.6 million cap hit on him, they could get a lot more value for him. If he was making, let's say, $2 million, $3 million next season, they could, theoretically speaking, trade Jonah Williams for like a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick. But because of that $12.6 million contract, plus some owners are having problems with him in general, it's not going to work out too well. So here's what they had to say. A funny thing has happened to Williams en route to being traded. No one has so far been interested in giving a high round draft pick for the 25-year-old player. He's not a big man with long arms, and he plays like it. One general manager told Outkick. He might not even be a tackle. So, who trades for a player perhaps best suited to play the interior position when he's insisting on playing left tackle? So far, nobody. People don't believe he should be left tackle. So that's another problem. Is that now people are saying, listen, this guy isn't even fit to be left tackle. If anything, you're trading me your guard. And if you're trading me your guard, I don't even want a guard that's not good. I don't even want a left guard. I don't need a left guard. I need a right guard. I need a tackle. That's not a tackle. I don't care what he says. I don't care what he thinks, what he believes. He's not a left tackle. He's not a right tackle. I need a tackle, and you're trying to trade me a guard. It's a long shot that the team even gets a 2nd round pick for Williams, let alone a 1st. He just hasn't been valuable enough to warrant that kind of compensation for an expiring deal. Seguruno also made it clear fans shouldn't hold out hopes for a compromise at right tackle between the two sides. Williams has stood his ground and isn't likely to fold about moving positions. He was asked to move to center at Alabama in senior year, and he refused. So, this is interesting. So he's not going to play right tackle, which he's not, obviously, they're not going to put him at center. But he's not going to play right tackle. He's probably not going to play guard. He's only going to want to play left tackle, and that's it. And now we're in an interesting situation because I guess he's just going to hold out then. I guess he just holds out and refuses to play tackle unless Cincinnati just says, you know what, we don't care anymore. We will trade him for a 5th round pick and we'll move on with our lives. It's really going to come down to that. Because to the point that, well, Cincinnati's going to hold their ground and say, we don't care what you want. You're going to do what we say. He just won't play then. And he just won't get a paycheck. And he'll sit out. And he'll be fined. Which is such a weird situation. It's such a weird situation because I did not expect this to be the problem going into the offseason. That Jonah Williams would simply not be that guy. Now again, they won a 2nd round draft pick for him. Right? At the end of the day, I said myself, the highest I thought was maybe a 2nd if Titans were desperate. But a 3rd round is the most highest I could see a team going with him, right? A 3rd round draft pick. Possibly, I think his value is a 5th round draft pick with a contract. But with that being said, if teams are seeing him as, listen, this guy isn't even a player on our board when it comes to, his actual frame and how he plays and how he is as a player, then you really lose a lot of value, period. Because that might be, again, why he simply could not work too well at left tackle. And I'll be honest with you, you look back at his career, he was actually pretty decent his first 2 years, and then his third year was when he kind of fell off, and then last year was, So, actually, wait, no. Was it 3 or 4? Say 3 years. Let's look him up. Let's just look him up. Saves a lot of time and energy here. But again, with that all being said, I don't know how I feel about this because, again, like I said, I know Cincinnati. I know leave the comments down below. Cincinnati's not going to trade him for nothing. They'd rather keep him and trade him for nothing. I understand that, but at the end of the day, if you have a player who's just not going to simply play or is going to say he's going to play because he's going to get fined, but really give no effort at all, you just have a guy on the roster for no reason. You're wasting a roster spot. And just taking a look at him, just to kind of fact check myself here. Let me move that down. Alright, so 3 seasons, my bad. So, first season, he was actually pretty okay. Second season, he was actually pretty dang good, period. It was actually amazing second season. Third season was last season when he absolutely fell off the face of the earth. But again, like I said, if he just simply is not going to play and say, I'm not playing right tackle, I will sit out, then he'll be fine. And then he'll come in and say, okay, well, now I want to play because I don't want to be fined anymore. But then if he comes back and says he wants to play because he don't want to be fined anymore, he's not going to give any effort. I mean, so you're going to be at a point then where you just cut him. Really, at that point, you're just going to cut the guy. Because there's no point to have someone on your roster who refuses to play. And again, it would be nice to just trade him at this moment in time if a teams were interested in him. But then the problem is they're not interested in a second-round pick. They're probably not interested in a third-round pick. They're probably saying, listen, we're going to take on a guy who we believe isn't even a left tackle. We're going to take on a guy that we're going to personally have to, work out a new contract with. And we're going to probably end up moving him to guard. So probably at best you're going to get a fifth-round pick for him. Which I think, in my opinion, I think Cincy takes that and walks away. I think that's what they should do. I know they're not going to, and I moved the comments down below of Cincinnati would never do that in a million bazillion years. They would never take someone of value for someone like that. Then again, you're just going to have to cut him. You're just going to have to cut the guy and move on with your life because if not, he's not going to be right tackle. And he's not going to play guard. He's not going to play center. He's going to be, I'm left tackle and nothing. And if NFL teams see him as not fit to be left tackle, then he's going to have to just retire and move on with his life and do something else with his life because I did not even think owners, I thought he was had a bad year, but I thought he could at least be capable at left tackle. If owners are saying, no, this guy is literally not even fit to be left tackle, then I don't know what you're going to do with that one. But thank you guys for watching. See you guys next one. Peace out.